Let's take a look at Logic's Callbook interface facility. It's by far the most sophisticated and complete Callbook interface of any product on the market. With Logic 6, we introduced lookup from the web. It will go to a website such as QRZ or the FCC or so forth and look that information up, and it appears to Logic just as if it had been looked up off of a call sign database CD-ROM. A very powerful feature and a Logic exclusive. First, let's set the log form up to automatically log from the Callbook. Go to Log Setup, click Callbook, and if you do not want automatic Callbook lookup, just turn it off. You'll probably not want it if contesting, if you're DXing or rag-chewing network. To use the Callbook manually, just go to the Callbooks form, type in the call you want. Of course, normally this will automatically be looked up from the log, but now let's just concentrate on this Callbook form itself. And it says it's found in Logic. That means it's found in Logic's internal Callbook database. Right now it includes only the US and Canada. We'll be adding more countries as they become available. It's included on the Logic CD-ROM and can be updated from the Internet. Suppose I want to look the same information up on the FCC database. It takes a while for the first lookup because the routers between here and there have to resolve the addresses and so forth, but time is a lot faster than it used to be when CD-ROM databases first came out. I can show a web display to see the results of my web lookup. I can look it up in QRZ. There's my information from QRZ. Notice that I can scroll down here and see the rest of this, and if I want to go check out hamhq.com, I can click there and it goes and checks it out. Or I can look in a browser. That brings up the same site in a browser that I can go look at. Let me point out one thing about commercial displays. No, I don't want to run a flash player. Okay. Okay, I hide the web display. Let me look up somebody else on QRZ. Notice the web display comes up automatically. You do not have the option of disabling the web display for commercial sites. They depend on advertising revenue for their existence, so there is no way to disable this from within Logic. There is a Callbook table and there is an indicator there saying it's a commercial site, but you could hack in there and change that. It would still look up the it would still display the browser for the commercial site. And don't ask us to remove this display because we want these sites to be around so that we can use them. Let's take a look at some of the setup options for the Callbook. This will help us better understand its full capabilities. Here I have a list of the different Callbook sources that Logic supports. These are CD-ROM databases here. This is Logic's internal database, and the rest of these are websites. And look over here, it tells you some information about the site. You know, it's obvious these are CD-ROMs. It says so over here. These websites, there's the website that Logic goes to access for that site, so forth on down. Notice the advertisements is not checked. So we know that this is a site that doesn't display advertisements. I go down to QRZ, and it's going to display advertisements. So that may tell me that I want to use other sources first, but if we can't find it, we'll look at QRZ. Several foreign countries are implemented into the web lookup, and we're adding more as they become available. These government sites are the actual database of the countries in question, so they should be 100% up to date and are the best source of current information. There are two sites for web lookup of United States call signs, the Federal Communications Commission and the University of Little Rock, which gets their updates apparently daily from the FCC. They're both included here so that if one goes down, you have access to the other. Also, any of these sites are liable to change the format of their website, and therefore Logic would not work. So if that happens, just disable the site. Let's click on the site that I want to disable and click up here, and it's disabled. Logic will no longer use it. I could change the order that Logic searches. If I wanted to search the FCC first and then search the Logic internal database, I could do that. If I wanted to search QRZ, always search QRZ first, and then if it's not found, continue looking. I would move QRZ to the top. Another question that you may have is, why do we have Logic's internal call book and the FCC in Canada that can be looked up directly from the web? Why update a disk database from the web when you can have direct access to the web? Well, the answer is speed. Logic's internal call book has over 900,000 records in it. That's close to 1 million. And let me put in someone's call. It's instantaneous. It's just amazing how fast Logic's database engine is. One other point of importance here is the Buckmaster web lookup. When Logic 6 first came out, it worked like QRZ did, but they rasterized their output so that it was no longer machine capturable. Now to access their site, you need to purchase a subscription to use their site. So don't enable the site unless you have a password and user from them. Let's discuss the order in which the websites are searched and some of the other options, the comprehensive option. A lot of web databases are affiliated with a particular country. So notice FCC, the country is K. Now don't confuse this with the DXCC country. Alaska, Puerto Rico, and so forth would all be included in this designation. And this is set up in the prefix table. So let me do a filter on political for K, and there it gives me all of the different call sign prefixes that are associated with the United States. Same with France or any other country that has several DXCC countries within the same political entity. Some call books are not associated with any particular country. Logic's internal call book has more than one country in it, and QRZ has many countries in it. Notice the country, it says any. Doesn't mean it has all countries in it, it just means that it has more than one country. So when Logic starts searching, it's going to first search in the Logic call book, even though it's has only U.S. and Canada, because more may be added in the future, and there's no time delay there that's anything other than a computer could ever measure. But then, say we enter a foreign call, it searches Logic since it's not limited to any particular country, and then we come to the FCC. So say we entered Australia, FCC isn't in the country prefix of K, so it keeps going. It's not VE, it's not in Belgium. Finally, it gets down to Australia and says, yes, VK, this is the call book that we want to search. So the order of that you have the call books, if you put a country that you say, I'm Canadian, so I'm going to put Canada in front of the FCC. You can do that as a matter of national pride, but it's not going to make Logic any faster, because if you enter a Canadian call and have the FCC before Radio Canada, it's not going to even search the FCC database.